In this section, we're going to talk about rules of integration. If you have an integral from a to b of some function, like maybe x plus 3 squared or x squared plus 4x minus 5 dx, and it's being multiplied by a constant, you can just compute the integral of f of x dx and multiply that answer by a constant. In other words, if you have the integral from a to b of 3 times x squared plus 4x minus 5 dx, you can pull out the constant. You can't pull out x's or y's, just a constant. If it's in terms of x's, you can't pull out an x. Another rule is that if you have the integral from a to b, or you don't even have limits. Let's suppose you don't have limits. If you have the function of f of x plus g of x, all dx, you just like derivatives, you can take the derivative of each function separately and then add the results. Same with integration. You can take the integral of f of x dx and then add on to that the integral of g of x dx. In fact, even if it were minus, you can just subtract the two. The next rule that we should know, it's really a good rule to know because the answer is immediately known. If you integrate from 0 to 0 of f of x dx, well, let's think about what you would get. If you have some function f of x and you're integrating from a to b, and you will get how many square units are under the curve and the x-axis. But what if you were integrating from a to a? That is, you're not integrating from a to just a little bit more than a, which would be a small area. You're not even, that's a little bit more than a. And that x value is even closer to a. And if my pen was thin enough, I can draw another line that's even closer to a. But if you just, and each of these have areas, they're getting smaller and smaller. But if the b, for example, approached a, it's gonna be 0. There is no area between this line and itself. You have a height, but the width is 0. So that integral is 0. In other words, if somebody gives you the integral from 8 to 8 of 3x cubed minus 4 log of x plus 11 raised to the pi times e to the x dx, oh, it is 0. The area between 0 and between 8 and 8 is gonna be 0. Nice, clean, simple answer, 0. Now, there will be times where it would be very friendly if these limits were switched. That is, from b to a of f of x dx. And you can do that as long as you factor out a minus sign. Now, the next rule that I want to talk about, and actually the last rule, suppose that the integral of f of x dx is equal to another function, big F of x. then the integral from a to b of f of x, and let me even say plus c. The definite integral from a to b of f of x dx is just f of the upper limit minus f of the lower limit. And you may say, wait, what happened to the plus c? Well, even if I did use the plus c, first I plug in b, I get f of b plus c, minus, now I plug in the a, I get f of a plus c. Oh, look at that. Positive c, you subtract the two things, you get 0. So even if you do put in the c, it's always going to cancel out each and every time. Okay, this completes the section on rules of integration. Know these rules. Can't play the game unless you know the rules.